From high-stakes IP disputes in California to strict legal crackdowns on property developers in Maharashtra, localized policy shifts are creating significant ripples across borders. We are tracking 5 critical sectors to see how these stories are reshaping the landscape: financial markets, AI, startups, real estate, and health and education. In an interconnected economy, a regulatory shift in one sector often dictates the flow of capital in another. Remaining informed on these cross-sector movements is the only way to protect your interests in today's briefing. For years, international investors looking to trade Indian derivatives without navigating local regulations routed their capital through the Singapore Exchange, or SGX. But that historical route is closing. According to this update, SGX is officially dropping its India-linked single-stock futures. Because investors cannot simply abandon a market of this scale, they have to reroute their liquidity. We are already seeing that capital flow directly into India's own GIFT Nifty. This move successfully pulls the trading volume for these assets back into the domestic ecosystem, giving Indian regulators direct oversight for the first time. By forcing global capital into its own jurisdiction, India is effectively centralizing its financial power and increasing the influence of its domestic financial hubs. Over in the global tech sector, the race to deploy next-generation AI hardware is hitting a legal snag between 2 industry heavyweights. Apple has launched an aggressive lawsuit against its supplier, OpenAI, over a dispute regarding intellectual property. The specific tension point is here in the supply trail. The companies are clashing over proprietary metal finishing techniques and the way their engineering teams interact. When hardware manufacturers and software giants cannot agree on the physical specs of a device, it creates an immediate bottleneck for the release of consumer AI products. This friction adds a layer of legal risk to what was meant to be a rapid rollout, potentially forcing developers to navigate a courtroom before they can reach the consumer. Back in India, traditional entertainment is dealing with its own operational constraints. Single-screen cinemas are struggling to stay viable against shifting habits and rising costs. To counter this, PVR is executing an aggressive pivot into underserved regional markets, targeting 300 smaller cities with 1,000 new screens. This chart shows the math behind the move. Instead of chasing high margins in expensive metros, they are dropping ticket prices to roughly 100 rupees to capture mass volume. The strategy relies on Middle India's rising consumption power to make up for those lower margins through sheer ticket volume. PVR's expansion suggests that corporate survival in the theater business now depends on aggressive decentralization rather than just metro dominance. That same middle class is also facing significant risk in real estate, where project delays have become a standard, if frustrating, market feature. The Maharashtra government is now taking a harder line. They are moving beyond standard FIRs to pursue stricter legal penalties against developers who fail to deliver. The goal is to unlock exactly 1,000 homes currently stuck in allotment limbo for the State Housing Board, MHADA. By making an example of these specific delays, the government is signaling to the entire sector that project completion must become a priority. This intervention is designed to force transparency onto the market, helping to lower the investment risk for ordinary homebuyers. We are seeing a similar push for rigid systemic integrity reach the national level, specifically regarding the medical education pipeline. The Supreme Court has officially turned down pleas from 6 NEET candidates regarding alleged discrepancies in their OMR test sheets. Students claimed their physical sheets differed from the digital versions uploaded by the testing agency, but the court prioritized the integrity of the centralized system over these individual claims. By directing the candidates to the High Court, the bench ensured the national counseling schedule remains on track without further delays. The dismissal sets a rigid legal precedent. The momentum of the national testing process takes priority over addressing individual discrepancies in the courtroom. Today's briefing highlights a common thread. Whether it's the migration of financial assets, a tech IP battle, or a push for educational integrity, policy is moving quickly to define the rules of the game. In a landscape defined by these rapid regulatory moves and corporate pivots, staying informed on the details is your primary defense. To keep following these cross-sector updates on finance, AI, and global markets, hit subscribe. We'll see you in the next briefing.